Welcome, spiritual beings. Let's face it, people are competitive. There's no getting around it. Whether you like it or not, there will be people in your life who are constantly trying to top what you do, or even telling you that there are others doing the same thing you're doing. This means that the signs you notice that someone is trying to outdo you might be real. What if someone really wants to outdo you at everything? It applies to your job, your friends, your appearance, and even the way you live. Just be your true, authentic self, and let your light shine bright no matter what. In this case, here are 10 definite signs someone is trying to outdo you, and how to respond if they continue doing so. Number 1. They're constantly commenting on what you do. Have you noticed that someone is making too many comments about the things you do? Or are they asking too many questions about your actions? It can be something as simple as asking you how your new job is going, or commenting on the outfit you wear. But sometimes they're commenting on something that you've done and want to do better. Just be yourself no matter what. For example, if you're the type of person who loves to travel, this person might comment on how they want to spend more time traveling as well. When this happens, it's a sign that someone is trying to outdo you. Let me explain how this works. If someone is always telling you how they do something differently, or criticizing how you do things, this is a sign that they want to outdo you. It's like this person is always commenting on your life choices, and talking about how things should have been done differently. They're constantly telling you about how they would have done something differently. And what's more, they're trying to show that they can do things better than you. If you're constantly being told how someone else would have done something different from the way you did, you might have competition trying to outdo you. The best way to handle this is to shrug off their comments or questions. You can even tell them you don't want or need their advice. If they continue, then they're just taking things too far. Number 2. They ask tons of questions about what you do. Commenting on your actions is one thing, but what if someone is asking you a lot of questions about what you do? For example, if you're in a new job, and someone is constantly asking you about how it's going, that's one thing. They're just trying to be friendly and start a conversation. But if they're asking too many questions, or they keep asking the same questions over and over again, then this means they are trying to outdo you. They might be trying to find out what you do so that they can do something similar, or better. It doesn't matter why, but the fact remains that someone is always asking about what you do. And this could be because they want to outdo you in some way. How can you explain this? I mean, why would someone ask you so many questions about your life if they're not trying to outdo you? Well, it's because they want to know all about how you're living your life. They want to know about the things you do so they can do something similar or better. It's like this person is constantly trying to find out how you're doing things in your life so that they can do something similar or better. The truth is that they might think that by asking you tons of questions, they can find out what you're doing to be successful. Number 3. They're showing off their accomplishments constantly. Ever noticed how hard this person tries to impress others around them? And for this, they try to show off their accomplishments. They try to show off how much they know, how much they've achieved, and how much they've overcome. You see, they like to brag about how much they've learned, how many people they've helped, and the great things that have happened to them. They also love to tell you about all the wonderful things that are going to happen to them in the near future, like how they're going to make a lot of money or get an even better job. Why do they do this? Well, this behavior is common among people who like to show off their accomplishments so that everyone can see how great they are. And if you're not careful, this person might try to outdo you by trying to show off their accomplishments more than yours. The simple truth is that if someone is constantly mentioning what they've done, this is a sign that they want to outdo you. And that's why you should try to avoid letting them know about your accomplishments. How? Well, one of the best ways to do this is to keep your accomplishments to yourself. And when they ask you questions, just answer them as briefly as possible. If it's not important, don't tell them. Number 4. Constantly asking for your advice, but never taking it. If you've ever had an acquaintance like this, then you know how annoying it can be. They constantly ask for your advice about everything even when they don't want to hear it. And the result? When you give them advice, put in your effort and energy, and share your advice with them, they always find a reason not to do what you told them. They just nod their heads and say, "Okay." But later on, you see that nothing has changed. Or worse, they'll tell you that your opinion is wrong, or that you're wrong about their situation. And instead of doing what you suggested, they always find a way to avoid doing it by making excuses or simply saying that they don't want to do it. After all the time and effort you put into giving this person advice, they never take it. Why? Well, here's a simple truth. They don't really want your advice in the first place. You see, people who like to show off will often ask for advice, but never follow it, because they want their situation to be better than yours, and if your advice can help them achieve this goal, then they won't take it. Well, people who like to brag about themselves want to feel like someone who's important and powerful, and in order to feel important, they need other people to look up to them as well. That's why they try to ask for your advice or opinions so that you'll see them as an important person. Someone is always asking you for your advice, but never actually taking it, is directly a sign that they want to outdo you. Number 5. They try to make you feel guilty or ashamed of yourself. Do you notice how hard that person who's trying to outdo you tries to make you feel guilty or ashamed of yourself? I know that this sounds harsh, but it's true. If someone is constantly trying to make you feel guilty or ashamed of yourself, it could be because they're trying to take advantage of the situation by making you feel like something is wrong with you. And this can be a sign that they want to get ahead in life by making you feel like something is wrong with you. That's why I consider this another sure sign that someone is trying to outdo you. The truth is that when people try to outdo you, they can easily make you feel guilty or ashamed of yourself. And you know what? It's because they want to take advantage of the situation by making you feel like something is wrong with you. They might even try to make you feel guilty for not spending enough time with them. And the best way to do this is by trying to get information about your job or career so that they can outdo you in whatever it is that you do. But remember that this technique shouldn't work on you. So don't let anyone try to make you feel guilty or ashamed of yourself. Don't let them take advantage of the situation by making you feel like something is wrong with you. And the best way to avoid this is by staying focused on your own life and not letting someone else control it. Number 6. Everything you do, they do too. And finally, the most obvious sign of all that someone is trying to outdo you is that they try to copy everything you do. If you notice that someone is constantly following your every move, it could be a sign that they want to outdo you. If you notice that someone is constantly following your every move, it's a sign that they want to outdo you. They might be following your social media, copying your clothing choices, or even following your career path. If you notice that someone is constantly following your every move, it's a sign that they want to outdo you. Notice how the person who's trying to outdo you tries to copy everything that you do. That's because they want to take advantage of the situation by making you feel like something is wrong with you. It doesn't matter what it is that they're copying. All that matters is that they're trying to make themselves look better than you. So, consider this as a warning sign that someone is trying to outdo you and try to react. Not react to the person trying to outdo you, but work on their actions. Let them understand you're not afraid, and you're not going to let them get away with it. How to respond to someone who tries to outdo you. Now that you know how to spot someone who's trying to outdo you, what do you do? Good question. If you've ever been on the receiving end of someone trying to outdo you, you know how frustrating it can be. If someone is always trying to top your ideas, or come off as more relaxed than you, it can be exhausting and downright infuriating. That being said, the rivalry isn't all bad. Depending on how you approach it, competition can actually be extremely beneficial. How? Well, it helps keep us motivated and accountable. It sparks our creativity and ignites our drive to succeed, and it often leads to new and exciting opportunities we might not have stumbled upon otherwise. Still, here are some tips on how to react. Be prepared. If someone is trying to outdo you, it's best to be prepared. This means that you need to develop a plan to deal with the person who's trying to outdo you. You must be ready for whatever the other person does, because chances are that they're going to do something that will make you react in some way. How do I know this? Because they're obviously trying to outdo you. And if they're not going to let go of your business now, what makes anyone think they'll let go of it later? You can either let it annoy you or use it as a challenge to motivate yourself to be better. Either way, when someone is trying to outdo you so that you can respond with confidence and poise. So, don't let them get away with anything. Be ready for everything. Be prepared for anything and everything. Be prepared and stay focused on yourself. Thank you for watching. Go with love. Let love guide you, not fear.